Shop with Nielsen and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
11:02 on a Monday. Ooh, coughed up a lung there. Dusty and Huss with you, and I have to tell you, right before we started the lock shop today, I think I heard Huss singing country music behind the scenes. I'm pretty sure that's what I got. Let's bring in Huss this morning. Huss, what's up, buddy?
Well, the funny thing is, you're exactly right. I'm not a big country guy. I am familiar with Morgan Wallen, who was letting the liquor talk last night down on Broadway. What an idiot!
Yeah, he threw something off a roof or something. What was this?
Dude, he threw a chair off of the roof of Chiefs, which is Eric Church's bar, 6 stories up.
Ooh!
Threw a chair. Narrowly missed 2 Nashville police officers and some other people. He was charged with 3 felony counts of endangerment and something else.
I think bail was set at 15 grand. I think he had it. I think he has the money.
He's definitely got the money.
Were you at the party, Huss? Were you there? Were you at Chiefs last night?
I joked that he was just too fired up after WrestleMania. He just got out of it. I was there. I was down at I was right across the street from there watching Mania after beginning the Akshay Bhatia celebration party at Coyote Ugly. Ended up popping down, checked out the Barstool spot there, which is it's a little bit more clubby, although they do have a great job of having TVs and everything on there. So yeah, I mean, yesterday was sort of we had a flight, check in, get everything set up, and then made it down and saw what really mattered, the main event. Although, and Pat's going to join us and talk about this. The sweat that we had to go through to cash those tickets on Akshay is one that I will never forget in my life. I mean, Denny McCarthy.
Holy smokes.
Dude, he went nuclear. On the back 9, Bhatia had a 6-shot lead. It was 8. He was minus 18. Denny was minus 12. Denny birdied 1, birdied 10, parred 11, and then birdied 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. He shot 28 on the back 9. That had never been done before. I believe he tied or broke the all-time PGA Tour record for number of putts in a 72-hole tournament with 91. I'm sitting there thinking, we've all had golf bets that look good, or a guy chokes, or the guy blows up. Actually, it was nails. He was 4 under yesterday. He played great. The only thing, he missed a shorter putt, albeit for birdie on 17. But I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that was Tiger Woods in 2004, what McCarthy did until the playoff hole.
Put one in the drink.
Dude, 100 yards, layup, set there, and he chunked it, and you could just see, and he had been so dialed in to watch his facial expression after the divot came up. I mean, I knew it wasn't a good shot, but for it to go into the water was just amazing. And then the stones actually says, listen, I popped my shoulder out, fist pumping the 18th hole putt. So he literally calls for his trainer and goes over. They take a break, and he gets taped up before his 85-yard shot, which he hit to 10 feet, and got it done. I will never forget, for the greatest week in lock shop history, to finish with that, a 50-1 winner and a nice 4-figure slide into the account was all time. But the grind that it took to get, I was so mentally exhausted at the end of that.
You had to go have a shower, I was smoke in a shower, you're done.
I was over that, and then all of a sudden it was WrestleMania time, which was unbelievable as well. It was definitely a Sunday that I will never forget, and neither will Morgan Wallen.
Well, you know what's funny, man, is that I'll tell you how I consumed the golf on Sunday. I saw Bhatia was up, had a comfortable margin. So I was like, oh, he's going to win. It's locked in. So I was doing some work around here. And then I hop on Twitter and I look and I see McCarthy puts one in drink in playoff. And I'm like, what? How's this in a playoff? Like, what's going on? So I immediately turned it on. I was like, what the hell happened? Because I knew McCarthy was having a pretty good day, but there was like 3 holes left. I was just like, oh, this is a done deal. Like, I don't have to worry about it. So it was funny. So then I see in a playoff, he puts it in the drink. I'm like, what the hell happened? So then I go and I watch the celebration and I see Bhatia, shoulder pops out during celebration. I said, what did I miss in the last 45 minutes in this golf tournament? So it was, it was amazing. And you know what? It was good heading into the Masters to have a Sunday like that. I think that's great for golf, man. It was outstanding stuff. Just what a treat.
It was, I think Dean Burmeister won the Live event. I'm not sure. But just quickly on Live, I did see that John Rahm's team won, and like they do full World Cup style victory presentations with massive bottles of champagne and everything for every one of these.
Formula One style. They got the Formula One thing going on.
You know what? And anyone that remembers, or certainly those of us that spent time at TSN 1290 back in the day, will remember this dude named Narv, one of probably the most infamous ops in the history of certainly of TSN 1290. I mean, this dude was just like from another planet. Sometimes he would be opping the post-game show at Boston Pizza afterwards. And it was not uncommon for him to, during the third period, before Rick would get back to do the post-game show, or Kevin O, he would go and put his full hockey equipment on. So he'd be there in full equipment, waiting because he had a game afterwards or something to play, and he wanted to be ready and get right to it. It's there. So anyway, the reason I bring up Narv is that Narv, he's a man of mystery. I don't know. He's been doing stuff with the Dolphins. He's been down in South Florida for a while. I get an Insta message from him on Saturday afternoon at Live Miami. He's got credentials. He's quote unquote working. I have no idea what the work Narv was doing there, but he did send me a few shots of some of the guys teeing off. Did not look like, at least where Narv was there, let's just say the galleries were sparse. That's going to change though, because it is golf week. Wednesday is the big day. But we can get into Masters already, because this is always a very interesting day to see where things have moved from the weekend, from the pre-Masters week odds until where we're at right now. And again, I'm in Nashville right now. I was very worried that I was not going to have access to my account down here. You never know what state you're in and all that. So I actually made a bunch of Masters bets on Friday night before I left, and already looking to see some of those numbers have changed pretty significantly. One way, one the other way. So when Pat gets on, we'll go through those numbers and start diving into them. And
Pete Gregg will be by here probably in about 10, 15 minutes. We'll give you the keywords to Vegas around 11:20, right before we bring Pat on, somewhere in that 11:20 to 11:25 window. Then we'll bring in Pat. We'll obviously take a little victory lap here for the golf victory this week with Bhatia. And an early look ahead, our official golf plays, obviously, for the Masters will be a huge Masters show on Wednesday. It's a late night in the National Hockey League, just 2 games. We'll definitely hit on that, but we got to get to WrestleMania, Huss. I dabbled in it prior to the main event, and then I locked in for the entire main event. And I was asking, I thoroughly enjoyed it because The Rock was there and Cena was there and Undertaker showed up out of nowhere. So I was just like, this is amazing. I asked, last night on Twitter, I said to people who watch wrestling all the time, was that as entertaining as I thought it was? Or is there some sort of weird wrestling thing where too many people? But it seemed like a consensus that was amazing last night.
Listen, it was the minute that that Roman and The Rock won on Saturday night to set up the bloodline rules, where, it was ostensibly to allow, the Usos and all that to come in and interfere. You knew that there would be some massive names and some very interesting things and people coming in. Cena was wild. I mean, seeing Cena come in there, and then The Rock, of course, Seth Rollins, the Uso brothers, kind of had everyone. I was thinking it would be Stone Cold. But I'm not sure whether they tried to do that.
Well, yeah, somebody texted into the show today because I was like, after Taker was there, I was like, is Stone Cold coming too? Somebody said you might see Stone Cold on Raw tonight, but then somebody else in the Nasty Chat this morning on my show said that they wanted Undertaker to originally be Stone Cold, but they couldn't get the money done or something. So then they brought Undertaker.
I had said that they couldn't get a deal done, which is weird because, I mean, Austin's been back before. But the pop when it went dark and the bell rang for The Undertaker, one of honestly the biggest in the history of sports entertainment. I mean, that was that was, and I heard from accounts of some people that were there that said, I mean, it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then when the gong happened and the dead man appeared, it was one of the loudest pops in the history of wrestling. And my God, the crowds, dude. I mean, it was 77,000 or 72,000. I think they had 145 on back-to-back nights in Philly for WrestleMania 40. It was the biggest event ever. It had some of the biggest names ever of all time. And Cody Rhodes finishes the story. Once I knew all that, I thought I was probably bent with the Roman bet, just because there's no way you top that. Like, if for some reason all that happens and Roman still won, you know, at the end of the day, how do you take it to that next level? And I know all the wrestling hardos were so mad that Cody didn't win last year, and then they all got worked big time a few weeks ago when he won the Royal Rumble, and then it was going to be The Rock. This was an absolute masterclass all time for the WWE, and Triple H, he knows what he was doing. That was that was absolutely
so I'm watching it in the basement on my laptop, and Undertaker hits, and I'm like, oh, like in that Tammy comes downstairs, and she goes, "Is everything okay?" I said, "Yes, everything's okay." The Undertaker just showed up, and I lost it for a second. So yeah, it was man, it was awesome. I thought that was a lot of fun. And then so at some point, bloodline leadership becomes an issue, and Roman Reigns goes against The Rock. Is that what eventually happens here somewhere?
Well, that is definitely a possibility, and I wouldn't rule out The Rock taking a crack at the title too. Now that Cody's got it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I think
a good point.
Probably, I mean, they're looking so far ahead for these big events of how, you know, listen, as long as Rock, because even he's on the board of TKO, which owns WWE and UFC. And by the way, like, I don't know how old he is, but man, he is still an absolute brick shithouse, man. He is like looks a little older, but might be in better shape.
He's
Probably
51.
is in better shape.
He's 51
right
years old right now. Yeah.
Kidding me?
Just jacked.
So
that means I still got 9 years to get there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, hit the weight room and something else. You've got a long ways to go to see where Rocky is right now. But anyways, absolutely wild. I know they'll be talking about that one for a long, long time, right up in the annals of the greatest nights in sports entertainment history.
We are going to bring in Pat Gregoire here at one point, but I do. So last week was great. You were 5-0 on the Log Shop plays of the day. We hit the 3 straight parlays. We got Batty over the weekend. I hit the EST parlay on Saturday at plus 525 or whatever it was, but we got hosed on Friday from a perfect 4 straight parlays, Huss. Can you believe the Golden Knights collapsed the way that they collapsed?
For people that missed Friday's show or maybe weren't aware of the historic run that we were on, you're exactly right. Plus 900 was our parlay on Tuesday, plus 575 on Wednesday, plus 525, I think, on Thursday. Oh, and Thursday, the WST parlay cashed at plus 500.
Yes,
I mean, literally everything was coming in. And we said, well, Friday, we're going to have to do another one. We had, I think it was the Rangers and the Hurricanes in regulation. They came back from down 2-0. They scored with less than 2 minutes left. They got it done. So it was up to the Golden Knights. And I did watch the game. The Golden Knights played like garbage in the first period. Logan Thompson was great. 0-0, gives up a bad goal to start off the second, and then Vegas sort of woke up, was all over them, scored 4 times. We're texting. I'm like, hey, can you believe this? I mean, 4-1 for Vegas.
I know.
They give up 6 unanswered goals in the third period to lose 7-4.
How?
Like, Thompson couldn't make a save. I'm just looking at Bruce Cassidy. He was so pissed off. And I'm like, yeah, I feel you, Bruce. I feel you. I mean, they, but that, listen, we can't get too bent about it because maybe all of our bad luck that would normally come in, when the karma on both sides was all for an entire week put into the third period of the Vegas-Arizona game, and everything else went our way. Although, when Denny McCarthy was birdieing every hole on the back nine yesterday, or the back nine, I was thinking about that Vegas game on Friday, going, "This is messages. You cannot get, too far ahead of yourselves."
I felt bad about it because I wasn't on Denny McCarthy this week, but he was one of my sexy picks at the beginning of the season. Remember, I was on McCarthy a few times. I was like, "Not this week. Not this week, man. Don't do this week." So we'll get into that. Let's give you a keyword right now for the EST flyaway to Vegas with Fly YEG. Then we're going to bring in Pat Gregoire here as well. Huss has to jet a little bit earlier than usual today because they're getting stuff set up down in Nashville for WST today. So we'll get to some of your nasty chats and text messages a little bit later on. Listen 4 times per day here on Edmonton Sports Talk for a chance to win the trip to Vegas. Next chance coming up here right now, and then on the oil stream today in the noon hour. 2 nonstop flights, 3 nights accommodations, tickets to a Cirque show presented by Fly YEG and the LVCVA. Nonstop flights over 50 destinations. Your sports trip starts with a nonstop flight from Fly YEG. Visit www.flyyeg.com for more info. Today's keyword is cover. COVER. Text cover to 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Cover would be the keyword today. All you have to do is that simple. Text it in. Stay by your phone for the next 30 minutes or so. Zacticum will call a qualifier around 7:45, 7:50 today, and you will get in for about a 1 in 140 shot of winning a trip to Vegas. One more time, your keyword today is cover.
Hey, just before we bring in Pat, because I know we're going to be talking about our guy Ash K, as we are charter members of the Batia Boys posse, I want to give a shout out to Lock Shopper and ESTer Jazz Lull, who, this is somewhat embarrassing because we do basically talk for a living and we mention names over and over again. I spent all last week calling Akshay Bhatia Ashk. And he said, "Hey, love the show, but by the way, you are butchering this poor
It's
guy."
AK. It's AK, yeah.
Yes, yeah. And I don't know why. I just kept on saying Ash K, which is also a cool name. But anyways, shout out to Jazz. He said, I think he was riding with us too, because I got a DM from him. Great call on Akshay. And then the money bags. So Jazz, shout out to you.
I have to be honest with you. When I was grabbing a picture, I was Googling some stuff today, and I was typing in Ash K, and I was just like, man, nothing's coming up. What is this? And then I was like, oh, well, sorry. I mean, I should have known as well, but I'm Googling Ash K. I'm like, what's going on here? But Akshay Bhatia. Yeah, there you go. And bottom line is, he's a winner. And,
just call him the champ.
Yeah, exactly. Let's bring in Pat Gregoire, who's got to be pretty happy today. P. Greggy, you've been riding this guy for a while. It finally pays off, my man.
Might have to call him Cash K because he's been absolute money.
Well
absolute
done.
Money.
Well
and
done.
Finally comes through. And again, yes, he has won on tour before, like I mentioned, but he was due to win one of these big boy events. Man, that was insane. Absolutely insane. And I know you guys already ran through it, but so full disclosure, I start the day. I think the bet's already won. I'm already thinking about, what bets I'm going to be turning over my winnings this week on the Masters.
He birdied 1 and 2. I was in the airport. He was minus 15. Then he was minus 11. And the first thing I get off the flight, I check it, and he's at minus 17, and he's birdied 2 of the first 3 holes. You had to be feeling great.
feeling phenomenal. And then just out of nowhere, the back nine and Denny McCarthy starts heating up. I'm doing some chores, getting some brownie points from the missus, going around the house, doing some spring cleaning, and I'm checking in and I'm looking. And then I send Haas a text and I say, like, oof, Denny's making this interesting. And then 2 holes later, he's not making things interesting. He's making this a tournament again. So I got to get ready, though. I got to go. I'm going to a WrestleMania party. I'm okay. Well, I drive over. I've got the feed on my phone to the Bluetooth of the car. I'm freaking out. Pick up Shane from Coolbet, pick him up, and we're now in the car and we're listening, and all we hear is just and he's got the stream up. He's watching it, and it's just this fat beaver tail, and he duffs this shot, and I'm driving and I say, go in the water, as a joke. We knew he didn't like his shot just from the way he looked. He looks back and Shane's like, he didn't like it. And I say it as a joke, go in the water. Plunk, it goes in the water. I'm driving and I'm screaming, yes, we did it. And then he's like, what's going on here? I'm like, what do you mean what's going on? I'm driving, I'm looking over. What do you mean what's going on? He goes, he's walking off the course. What are they talking about? I ram the volume up and they're talking about how he's going to get taped up. Like, Batia, all you got to do is just put the ball in the green. That's all you got to do. You just put it in the water. What are we doing? Is he going to withdraw? Sure enough, he gets taped up. And I heard after he mentioned to the rules official or whoever he was talking to that he didn't want to get his shoulder taped because he didn't want to take his shirt off and he wanted to go somewhere private. It's like, dude, you've played without a shirt. There's that epic photo of him where he's got his pants rolled up because he had to take a shot out of the swamp. Like, so he clearly used this as a timeout, which again, savvy move by a youngster. But anyways, he does. He gets the shot. And then, okay, fine. What should have been the easiest no-sweat bet cash of all time ended up being a emotional roller coaster. We get to the WrestleMania party. Obviously, all is good. But man, oh man, I was white knuckling in my car for a little bit of that. That should not have been as sweaty as it was. But hey, we got it done, and it was a great way to cap off what was an awesome week for you guys in the lock shop.
I mean, I don't think like the bar's been set pretty high. Put it this way: if we are ever having a conversation about a week that rivaled the week that just happened for the lock shop, I'll be very happy to even be able to remotely have that conversation because our picks was basically the equivalent of Denny McCarthy on the back.
On the back nine.
Man, oh man.
Birdie after birdie after birdie after birdie. Like, it was great.
It was automatic. And I mean, Dusty, that was the first thing I thought too. I was like, I don't think Dusty's bet Denny this year. And that's your guy.
Yeah, well, no, a couple of times at the beginning of the year, I was like, okay, I'm going to get on this guy in the first couple of events. And then I'd gone away from it. I hadn't had him as a pick in probably over a month and a bit. And I saw him, and that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, no. Is Denny McCarthy going to ruin this? I'm not on him. This is going to suck. But for him to go like he did on the back and then to plunk one into the drink, man, that's just, I mean, he's got to be destroyed. Absolutely destroyed.
I didn't hear any interviews of him afterwards.
No.
But, I mean, to come back, and hey, listen, he was making a lot of money. I mean, solo 2. But mind you, he was basically solo 2, whether he lost by 5 or whether he made it all the way back. And he did make some history yesterday. And you have to think that being able to do that, if he can somehow forget about the choke job on the playoff hole, that's some pretty good momentum to have coming into a kind of big tournament that's happening this week. But yeah, our guy, Akshay Bhatia, the leanest athlete in all of pro sports. I always joke that he has the custom-made 28-inch waist pants. I mean, to see him hit the ball 330 yards.
He melts it, man.
It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense that he can crush it like that.
Like, what does he weigh? Like
I was going to say somewhat close to my 9-year-old son.
Marshall probably will take him by the time he's out of elementary.
Oh, dude.
Like as far as
For sure. For size. Yes. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Like he's a slender man, but can absolutely crush a golf ball and ended up getting it done with just an excellent performance from start to finish. I mean, he wire to wire, which is great heading into the
That's what he wrote on his hand before he wrote wire to wire on his hand before. Like he has some swag to it, and he went wire to wire in 73 holes.
Yeah.
But man, I think back to what we said, picking him on Wednesday, and there's something about the Valero, that's the perfect tournament to pick guys that win and get in.
That need
Corey
it.
Connors did it. Maybe we're sort of more attuned to that because it was such a big story in Canada, Corey winning and then going to the Masters and winning that tournament again afterwards. But an unbelievable.
Well,
story.
isn't that now 9 of the last 12 winners, right? 9 of the last 12 winners needed that thing. So, because I think it was 8 and 11 when we were talking about it on Wednesday. Yeah. So
let's not forget, like Corey Connors, the first time he won it, he was a Monday morning qualifier. He wasn't even in that tournament to begin with. He had to get into that tournament on Monday morning when he first won it. We saw Ricky Fowler last year. I know he didn't end up winning it, but same thing. Like before Ricky went on that awesome run last year and really started getting back into form, he wasn't even eligible to be in the field for the Valero Open. And it's not normally the best field, but that just goes to show you, where he was in his game. It is really interesting. It makes things so much more special when, your back's against the walls. And I know it's a lot like the media talks about how much they need it. And I think we kind of lean into that a little more, but in this tournament, I think there's no doubt the guys that actually need to get in, or the guys that need, let's say, a top 5 finish or whatever it may be, I certainly think you got to look to those guys. But one of the all-time lock shot moments, no doubt, with him getting it done, of course, could not be a wire-to-wire, no sweat. It was wire-to-wire, but definitely a little bit sweaty at the end. And you talk about him being slender and skinny. I don't know if he can go back to back and win the Masters. I'm probably gonna sprinkle on him just because
you have to. You got to take a little bit of those winnings.
You have to.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be awesome for him to have to get just this uber tiny jacket done up if he was to win this week? Do we even know if he's healthy enough to play this week?
Well, I don't know. I have to see on the shoulder. Yeah.
From fist pumping.
That you're skinny when you fist pump and your shoulder pops out. Anyway, as for the Masters here, and we're gonna have a huge show on Wednesday. The entire show is basically be dedicated to all of our different Masters plays. It is early in the week. Haas, you said before you left for Nashville, you did place some bets. And now you can kind of take a look and see what's happened with some of the line movement. It's one of the conversations we can have. When or who or how what's the best time to kind of get in here on the Masters? Is it earlier in the week? Do you wait until right before the tournament? Huss, where do you come out on that?
Well, here's a great example of how it can work both ways. And again, I had to get the bets in because I was afraid that I would not be able to. And imagine coming back in to the country like late, like a few hours after the opening tee shots were made and realize that you weren't able to do it. I mean, that would have been very, very tough. But so Victor Hovland, who was 25-1 on all of the lead ups, I'm looking at, and I bet Vic at 25. Vic's at 33 right now.
Woo. What a swing.
So exactly, like the week of a lot of it. Now, Scotty's gone down to plus 450. I mean, he is, and again, we'll talk about it more over the next couple of days. We've never seen a favorite like this since prime Tiger Woods. But Vic went from 25 to 33. On the other side of the ledger, I got Hideki at 33 on Friday night. Hideki is now 22. And Hideki was playing. He was right there. You saw him on Sunday, former champion. Patty, I think there's a lot of steam on Hideki, and I think there is going to be I could see him maybe even ending up around 20 or so because of what a strong year he's had. And there's something special having done it at Augusta before. And the guy in the bright yellow pants is a guy that has done exactly that.
Well, I think it's no secret that when you're looking at betting guys for the Masters, and we always talk about course history. There really isn't a course that, being familiar with it, playing it before is the reason why you have to look into it. And you think about Hideki, who's won it before, but I think you can make the case that outside of Scotty Scheffler, Hideki Matsuyama might be number 2 right now just with the way he's playing. Maybe not necessarily by world golf rankings, but with his tee to green numbers, all his analytics, he already has a win. He's in great form. He's rolling into a place where he's won before. Good on you for getting that earlier because, I did bet it as well earlier. It's down to 22-1, and I would not be surprised if we continue to see, and he ends up being where Brooks is at 20-1.
Hey,
Ludwig Aberg at 28-1 quickly. Sorry, go ahead, Huss.
Is he 28 right now?
He's 28 right now, and that is I'll have to do.
Is Ludwig 28 right now?
Yeah, he's 28.
Because I did get on him.
He's 28 right now.
Okay, so that one hasn't moved. We'll be talking about. I could see that number moving actually as people start betting, getting closer to the tournament. What's Corey Connors right now?
I saw that earlier this morning. He's 66.
66.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about Sahith?
50.
550-1.
50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's another one. Got him on Friday night at 66.
Yep. Yeah,
So,
and I thought, and I bet Theegala last week, and I got him at that number as well, Huss. I thought, though, that I was maybe going to be shooting myself in the foot because he didn't play. And I thought that, with guys even like Max Homa, who looked a lot better, Hideki playing well, Rory coming in second or in third, even though he was lapped by 9 strokes from those other 2 guys. I thought with them playing well, like some numbers would move up, and a guy that took the week off, like Theegala, maybe would move down the board. In fact, that's not the case. He's moving up the board. So that clearly means that we're seeing some sharp money. We're seeing people bet him. So super, super excited to continue to dive through. Quickly, though, I will be transparent, as we always are on this program. I've got a Matsuyama bet in there already. Months ago, I bet Neiman after he won his second live event. I've got a bet on Neiman. That number has been all over the place. It's back to where I bet it at 28-1. And then, of course, I've also bet, as I mentioned, Sahith Theegala. I've bet him as well. So there's going to be a few more. There's a lot already. We've got some group odds, some top finishes coming up soon as well. Cut odds have come up. So we got a lot of stuff that we can dive into on Wednesday, which I'm super, super looking forward to.
Hey, what is Rom's number right now, and is that being moved significantly by the big win of Legion 13 in the team event at Live Miami?
He's 12-1 right now. I actually don't know what that was before the weekend, but yeah, what a swing and a miss for Live when that was going on. Their playoff that was going on at the same time was what, Sergio Garcia and who else? I can't even remember who else was going on. Didn't quite move the needle quite as much.
Dean Burmeister, I think.
It was Burmy. Yeah, he did.
All the Live bots are like, this is the guy that should be in the tournament this week.
The Live bots.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear John Rahm saying that the Live Tour should go to 72 holes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I think, and it's going to be so neat to hear more of these press conferences over the next few days. I honestly think Rahm was told that, hey, this is all coming together. You can kind of be, but it's like he talked down about Live for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
and said, hey, listen, I've got enough money. I'll be happy. And then apparently there was enough money, over $500 million to be reported. I think 650 million to get him to go there. But I do think that he was times on holes. I mean, that is not what he aspires to do, I guess is the safe thing. And now he's kind of come in, and his entire attitude and everything about this event is going to be neat, because Augusta, Pat, is one of those places where history means so much. Golf, so much. Your word and those sort of things. Like, he's taken a bit of a hit. And then all these guys talking about, well, hey, I'm going because we're growing the game. And then last week, hey, we need to do something right now. Think about the fans. The fans are turning away. No shit, guys. I mean, we've saw this and we knew that this was going to happen. It's irreparably damaged golf right now, and it will take years to come back and get back to where it was, if it ever does. But the guys on Live, particularly, Dusty, I mean, listen, they're making the big money, and like the accountants are liking it. But I mean, you can't, as guys that have been at the top of a sport, to now be playing, these ridiculous format games with like Marshmallow or Tiesto in their backswing while they're doing it. I mean, and then you go to the Masters playing against all these guys again for one of the greatest sports in the prize, and you sort of, I think, really remember what you're missing out on. Now, I'm not saying the Masters is like every day on the PGA Tour, but the example you made yesterday of that playoff and what we saw on the back nine at the Valero compared to what we see if you're even paying attention to Live, which most people aren't, is significant. But it's gonna be we got Bob Herring coming up on WST today from awesome. Golf. He's got another new book on Tiger Woods. I cannot wait to ask him about the atmosphere around both sides coming into Augusta, and what the future is going to hold for this, because we've heard so many different possibilities, but nothing's really happened right now. Both are bleeding fans. The PGA is down 20% in television ratings. Yeah. I mean, if Live lost 20% of their television ratings, that's losing about 7 or 8 people. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's significant.
Patty, it is an interesting time, isn't it?
It is. It is crazy. And again, I'm a golf nerd. I'm a dimple head. I'm watching every tournament. So I'm not the guy that should be telling you like, oh, you should be watching, because I'm going to watch anyways. But like when you look at it, the game itself, the stars that are there, I don't know if the game has ever been better, but it's just so fractured. There's so many issues. You've got Live, you've got PGA, you've got PIF involved. But at the end of the day, it just seems so fractured. It seems like let's be honest, there hasn't been a needle mover quite like Tiger Woods since Tiger Woods been there, and Tiger Woods is going to be there this week. Maybe Tiger Woods is the one who's going to save the day and the one that's going to help bring it back. But Tiger's not going to win this event. I mean, Tiger says the hardest thing to do at Augusta is not golf itself; it's him walking the course. Is his body like? Again, it's just for me when you look at all the great players that are in the game right now, golf should be in a way better spot, and it's not. And it's disappointing. Scotty Scheffler, John Rahm, Brooks Koepka, the names go on and on. Victor Hovland, you name it. It is crazy that golf isn't in a stronger position where it is. But with all that being said, I think we're teeing up a great weekend at Augusta. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to diving into it more this week on Wednesday, because there's a lot of great betting options, but even the storylines itself.
Yeah, storylines are going to be great as well. Patty, you look like you've gone into witness protection. You're a little pixelated. We're going to let you go because Huss has to go quickly as well here. So, Pat, we'll talk to you on Wednesday, okay?
Sounds good, boys.
All right, there you go. That's P. Greggy. Yeah, right. Did he not look like he was in witness protection? This is why you additional good picks like this doesn't matter. Huss, before we let you go, 2 games in the National Hockey League tonight. I know you got to get rolling here quickly, but and I'll go through some of the nasty chats after we let you slide. Starting goalies tonight, Nedeljkovic, big one for Pittsburgh here. Samsonov will start for Toronto, and then unconfirmed at this point, but Casey DeSmith and Logan Thompson in that late game. Just a 2-game slate. Huss, what's your favorite play tonight?
Well, I think I'm just going to keep on doing what we did all last week, and that's riding with the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I know. Exactly.
By the way, our 6-1, those 6-1 wagers we made after we asked them to get us some handicapping. And it was like even for all those other 3 teams, the Islanders were plus 200 and Pittsburgh was 6-1. They won all their games last week. Ned is playing great in net. Sid's got 40 again. Like this is the desperate team, the Leafs. Like, could the Leafs win? Absolutely. But what's the number on Pittsburgh for tonight?
Plus 136, buddy.
Nice.
Yeah, and I got a Crosby goal on the morning show at plus 156 today. So
more than happy to jump on the plus money. And hey, what's the line in the Final Four?
6.5
for UConn.
6.5 Connecticut Huskies minus 6.5
against Purdue.
Yeah, against Purdue tonight.
What do you think?
I'm on UConn minus 6.5. Like the Huskies.
That seems to be
the one thing with Purdue, and I'm gonna lay it out. Well, I can get into it a little bit later, but I'll lay it out after I let you go. But I'm on the Huskies minus 6.5. Like, nobody's been able to keep it close against these guys, and I know Purdue's the number 1 seed, but the Huskies have a 7'2" center of their own who might be the best defender in NCAA basketball since Anthony Davis. So if you're looking for somebody who could slow down Edey, this might be the only guy in the nation who can do it, and they got him. So, yeah, I think I like UConn minus the 6.5.
From the get-go, there was a ton of UConn futures, so I'll be tuning in tonight. And then tomorrow, we'll get into the National Hockey League, maybe a little bit more Masters, but lots of hockey. And I will be coming to you, I believe, from the Bridgestone Arena before Jets and Preds tomorrow night. So, listen, I won't be pulling any Morgan Wallen shenanigans tonight, but we'll get on the town a little bit more. And then, tomorrow, game day for the Jets, and looking forward to catching up with you again. Hey, shout out to everybody in chat. Listen, the bar is raised. You don't expect this sort of week after week after week, but if we can keep it going, we will. And to Jazz and everybody that was with us on Akshay, celebrated. 50-1s don't come around that often, but we got one heading into Masters week. I cannot wait for Wednesday's show. Can't wait for the game tomorrow. Just things are good in the lock shop, Dusty. What can I say?
They are 100%. Have a good show today, man. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, gang.
There you go. That is Huss. Winnipeg Sports Talk is coming up right away as well. NHL slate tonight. I am with Huss on Pittsburgh, plus 136. They pretty much got to have it down the stretch. Sidney Crosby has just been outstanding. He mentioned that Nedeljkovic has been playing pretty good as of late as well. Rod Z over in the nasty chat says over 1.5 goals in the first period of the Penguins game. Spency 5 cents. He has a nice little parlay in here as well. I also think I like the Golden Knights tonight against the Cucks. I think I might be on both road dogs tonight. Oh, you didn't know? But I'll probably sprinkle a little road parlay. Spency 5 cents. He says, I like Pittsburgh, Toronto over 5.5 and Marchessault over 0.5 point parlay plus 178. I like that one. I ride with you on that one. Over 5.5 is hit in 7 of the last 10 Pittsburgh games and 7 of the last 10 Toronto games. Marchessault had a goal and 2 assists in the first period against Vancouver back on April 2nd. So Spency 5 cents hopping in there as well with a play of his own. And let me just see here. I got a little message from P. Greger here who kind of cut out on us just on the end there today. I know momentarily we had a little bit of a hiccup in our internet here. This is good. Major tournaments, major prize. Win your way to some great prizes. Earn points during all 4 golf majors of the season for different winning outcomes across a variety of bets, including outrights, head-to-heads, 3-ball. For each bet you place, points are multiplied based on the odds. Okay, so there's a lot going on in here. I will tweet this out. I'll tweet this out. Major tournaments, major prize. Nice little thing they've got set up here for all of the major golf tournaments. We will, let me just see, actually. Let's see. There we go. So go to promotions. And if you click on promotions at coolbet.com and then see bet on majors, earn rewards, that's the promo that you want to get in here before the Masters start. So go to coolbet.com and click on promotions and then click on bet on majors and you'll get all of the details on that one. Rod Z is on Purdue +4 in the first half, which I also don't mind. I think Connecticut has a better ability to adapt in the second half than what I don't know how much different of game. Can Purdue win a game in a different fashion than just feeding Zach Edey? And if they double team him, he tries to kick it out. If they don't double team him, he goes one-on-one. But tonight he's going to be going up against Klingon, and 7'2", outstanding defender, should be able to rebound with the best of them as well. So I think I'm going to continue to roll with UConn. Not just on the money line, but probably not probably. I'll be on UConn -6.5 tonight in this game. Duck Dad is in and says, guys, I'm coming in late, but the D-backs run line is a must play today. Show your work, Duck Dad. I mean, I'm going to get on it with you. But what's going on behind that? You know, I'll also say this. I think I like the Jays in their home opener. I know they're driving me nuts. I said today I didn't care about the home opener because I'm so frustrated. But, all right, D-backs -1.5 at -118 on the run line. I'm with you. Let's do it. Let's place that bet right there. Duck Dad, you better not let me down or I'll be very angry. I'm going to call you out tomorrow. So hopefully we get that done. All right, let's get our qualifier for the EST Flyway to Vegas. We'll do it again on the oil stream coming up. Tommy Gazzola will be joining me on the oil stream just around the corner here. We'll probably have your keyword around 12:40 on the oil stream today. It's the EST Flyaway to Vegas 4 times a day, only right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, and only with our great partners down at the airport, Fly YEG, and their partners down in Vegas, the LVCVA. 2 nonstop flights, 3 nights accommodations, tickets for a Cirque show, nonstop flights to over 50 destinations. In fact, I think, and I retweeted it, Fly YEG announcing this morning that WestJet has added a few more directs as well. Yeah, this from the Fly YEG account. WestJet has added more flights out of Edmonton this summer. Explore more of our nation with daily flights to Montreal and Ottawa. Boom. Add Historical Montreal or Parliament Hill to your summer travel list. Historical Montreal is awesome. I've been there doing a few CFL games, navigated around old Montreal. Very nice. And back when the draft was in Ottawa years ago, me and my buddy Fergus at the time, who was doing some videography, we were working for hockeysfuture.com. We went and checked out Parliament Hill. And that was fun, too. That was a pretty good time. All right, Zacticum, who's our qualifier today, man?
We got Chris on the line here.
All right, let's go to Chris. Chris, congratulations. You are one step closer to winning a trip to Vegas with EST.
Thanks so much, Dusty.
When was the last time you were in Vegas, man?
Oh, I was under 18.
Oh, so you've never been there as a grown adult.
No, I stayed at Circus, which is, I think, a hotel that's still there where they have the circus and all that live every day and games for the kids.
Okay, so a little bit different than going back this time. Who would you bring with you this time?
Probably my daughter.
Okay, I'll take your daughter down to Vegas. How old is she?
She's 8.
Oh, perfect. Well, there you go. She can go check out all the things that we were talking about today on the morning show. Lots of things for kids to do in Vegas.
Go see a hockey game. Yeah,
good idea. Yeah, because you can book it at any time over the year. So you just got to pick that schedule in the next 2 months. So very good idea. All right, man. Good luck.
Thank you.
There you go. How about that? That's a family man right there. Chris is a family man. He's going to take his 8-year-old daughter to Vegas if he wins this trip, and they're going to go to a hockey game. Brilliant idea. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Oh, Duck Dad. Rod Z is doubting Duck Dad's play. Doubting him on the Diamondbacks. It's too late now. I'm already in. They got to, Rocky. Yeah, Duck Dad says the Rockies also suck. And Rod Z says that's a tough spot, though, flying into altitude. Rockies play their best at home. Man, you know what's happened now? You know what's happened that I did not want to have happen on the Lock Shop today? Now I need to care about the Rockies and Diamondbacks game today. I didn't want to add that to my list of things I have to care about or things I have to do today. But here we are. I'm gonna get home and Tammy's gonna be like, are you gonna have a nap today? I'm gonna say, yeah, I'll probably have a nap today. Why? Well, because I have to be focused later tonight on the Diamondbacks Rockies game, which starts at 6:40. That's not even a good look as a husband. So like, why the hell do you care about the Diamondbacks Rockies game? Well, Duck Dad said it was probably the play. So we'll fingers crossed that they can get it done. They're minus 169 on the money line if you want to play it a little bit safer. Minus 1.5 on the run line at minus 118. As for March Madness tonight, I looked at the line earlier today. It still says it's the same at 6.5 points. The total in this game, I haven't dove into the total at all for Purdue and Connecticut tonight. It's sitting at 144.5. And the money line play, if you want to throw the Huskies into a parlay tonight, that's something that you could probably do as well. Minus 312 on the money line, really only value you'll be able to find there on the parlays. As for some player props tonight, I'll take a look at some exclusives before we wrap here, and then Oil Stream coming up at high noon right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Zach Edey, total points tonight, 24.5. That's an interesting number. Rebounds tonight for Edey, 12.5. And Tristan Newton, this is a play I don't mind, although the value is not great. Tristan Newton, over 5.5 assists, minus 161. That could be something that you might want to look at. Maybe throw it into a parlay. Or if you don't mind the value on minus 161, you can sprinkle that as well. You know what? I'll just do a little bit on that one. And see, Tristan Newton over on the assists, minus 161 at 5.5. Exclusives for tonight's game, March Madness style. Edey to record 25-plus points, 7-plus rebounds, and Purdue to win, plus 525. Edey to record 30 points, and his counterpart on the other side for UConn, Klingon, to record 15 points, plus 750. Newton, 15-plus points. Caravan, 2 3-pointers. UConn minus 6.5, plus 325. And an instant classic. Purdue and UConn over 145.5, and Purdue plus the 6.5 points at plus 300. And the Blue Jays home opener today, like I mentioned, I don't mind them in this one. Barrios to record 7-plus strikeouts. Blue Jays to win, plus 230. Opening day hit parade. Springer, Vladdy, Bichette, and Turner all to record hits, plus 260. Bo Bichette, 2 total bases, plus an RBI. Jays win, 4-1. I like that one. I don't mind that one. And Vladdy to hit a home run, and the Blue Jays win, 8-1. As much as they frustrate me, I am going to make a play right now on the 8-1, Vladdy to hit a homer, and the Jays to win. Boom. Locked in. That'll be my final play of the day on the Lock Shop. Huge slate in the National Hockey League tomorrow. We'll get you ready for that. Continue to look ahead to the Masters as well. Just a huge, huge golf week here on the Lock Shop. Coming up just after noon today, another chance to qualify and lots to break down from the Oilers front with myself and Tommy Gazzola. So make sure you stick around for that. Thank you very much for joining us on Lock Shop today. Best of luck tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow.